Lovely to see you guys. I was hooked into the wrong one. Right, okay, let's get started. So welcome. So I'm going to do a very quick stamped one sheet wonder with you guys tonight. And basically this evening I had a team meeting and I showed them how to make this card here. This card is actually part of a stamped one sheet wonder that used to look, oh, hold on. There we go. Just put it all back together again. It used to look like this. So that piece goes there, and then that's the card that came from there. Okay. So I said to my team, because the time went by so quickly, I was going to show them a different variation of using exactly the same stamps, but just doing something a little bit different. So I thought it would be fun to come on here and do that in front of you guys and just show you what we got up to this evening, but with a slight variation. So as I said, I'm actually going to be really strict with myself and just use the stamps that I used on that sheet and see what we come up with. I have chosen different colours though. So I've got the big flower from Flowing Flowers. I've got the rose from Artistically Inked. 2 leaves from Forever Fern and the dottage, and that little small flower there from Hand Penned Petals. It doesn't necessarily have to be that one, you can choose whatever you want. There is actually a really nice little cluster of 3 in Flowing Flowers, that one there, which I would recommend can be used as well if you don't have that one. Right, so let's get started. So a quick hello to everybody who's watching on the replay. Thank you so much for coming and checking in and seeing what I'm up to. Usually Tuesdays I'm trying to leave a little bit freer for myself because I'm wanting to spend a bit more time with my team or to do classes. So just because you're seeing me today on a Tuesday doesn't mean you're always going to see me on a Tuesday. It all depends if I've got something quick to show you, basically. So please, if you do miss me, if you miss my voice, then you can go and listen to another voice that's very similar to mine, that of my sister's, Esther. She goes live at 9 o'clock on Tuesdays, and or you can go and watch one of my older videos if you really miss me that much. Okay, so we're going to get started with Magenta Madness, and so the layout that I used for that previous one sheet wonder was basically I had the paper like this and I stamped the flowers and then the leaves and then more flowers and so on. So it was very much a through the middle design, which I guess I could have stamped it like that, but there was something about having the paper that way round that kind of made it work really well. So I was going to show how you can still have the paper this way up but do something slightly different, but this time starting with the leaves. All right, so there's lots of different ways to approach stamping a whole sheet, and I do get various questions about it, like sometimes do you use the dark colour first, the light colour first? There isn't really a kind of definite way. I mean, I have certain approaches depending on what I'm trying to achieve, but I'm afraid you just have to kind of keep practicing and trying out these techniques and seeing what works for you and what you enjoy doing. So right, so I'm just I didn't press down hard enough there, so I'll hide it later. So what I've done is I've stamped the leaves all going roughly in the same direction. I'll turn it so you can see. There we go. They're all going upwards. I pull that out. You see the mess on my desk, but you get to see it a bit better. There we go. Right, so everything's going upwards, and I just wanted to show how if you make that decision at the beginning, it can change the whole look of what you're creating. So again, I'm just getting my leaves and I'm doing second generation stamping, stamping, twisting, stamping again. I'm trying to get them all flowing roughly in the same direction. I mean, I know they're sort of slightly going out, but they're all kind of going up. Okay, so now I've got my leaves in place. That was soft succulent that I just used. I want to use a bit of Magenta Madness, and I have this beautiful flower here, just gorgeous, and getting that inked up really well. And so I'm kind of looking for spaces now to put my flower, and I think I'll tuck the one in there. You can see there's definitely a big space there for one, and possibly one there, but not sure. Maybe one there, and one there. Oh, and then try and tuck one up there. Okay, I regret that now, but never mind, done it. Have that one going up in that direction, and then down here we might have one sneaking on from there. Okay, so I'm just kind of trying to fill the space up a bit. Yes, I know I've got these big gaps, but we have still got some other flowers to go yet, so it's okay. So that was Magenta Madness. This time I'm using fresh Freesia. Let me say a quick hello to people watching on the live. Hello, Linda, Mindy, love that ding. Hi, Anne, Vicky, Glenna, Janine, Shaz. Lovely to see you all. Hi, Barb. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Heidi, Levine, Cindy, Elizabeth, Karen. Wow, loads of you. Annie, Diane, Claire. Hi, everyone. Is that a second Cindy that's on? Cindy Fox Taylor, and was there another Cindy? I do lose count sometimes because there's a few multiple names comes up. Okay, so here we have that lovely rose. So I'm going to try and just fill in. So I know I need to try and fit 3 in there because there's a big space. Got space there, got space there, got space up there. Tuck one in there. Oh, got a few spaces down here. There. So this style of stamping is very much about cutting it up later. Okay, the great thing about this way of doing it is that if you do make a little bit of a mistake, or you think, oh, that placement's not quite right, don't overthink it. Don't worry about it too much, because this is going to get cut into 4, and also it could be that different parts of it get covered up, so don't worry about it too much. Okay, so now I've got my flowers down. Sorry, I know I've got this one to go, but I will come back to that. I actually want to go back in and use this leaf stamp again, because I want to have a bit more control over where I stamp it. So I'm taking the leaf, not getting the stem there, and I'm just going to have a look at some of these flowers and where I could perhaps I did ink the stem, I didn't mean to do that. Just get some of these leaves behind the flower. Now I'm also mindful that I'm trying to have these leaves all going in the same direction, so I need to find spaces where that can happen. So I'm still going up towards the north, as it were, and I'm just tucking some of these leaves in. Oh, I got a stem again then. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. And so by tucking this leaf right underneath, as if it's coming from that flower, it just helps to create a little bit of a background for the flower to show off. So you see this one here, you can't really see it so well against that, but if I pop that leaf behind it, it just helps to show it off a little bit more, like so. So there we go. Hi Heidi, hi Lorraine, hi Janice. What did Janine say? How do I choose my colour palette? Ooh, I tend to go with what I like or think will look good, unless I'm doing a colour challenge. Sometimes if I'm doing a colour challenge, it's just completely random. So yeah, Did Janine ask about colours, or is it? Please just ask questions. If I forget it, I will go over colours and stamps at the end. Excuse me, I'm just having a little wee drink. Right, I do need to choose a colour for this little stamp here. I think I'm going to try the Magenta Madness and see where that takes me. Oh, I forgot I've got Bumblebee here. Oh, maybe I won't use it. Okay, so let me just show you something. When it comes to popping a little flower down, these make great little kind of boo-boo fixers. So, for example, you see here, I've got that stem on the flower. I didn't want that to happen. Okay, didn't want that to happen. So to disguise it a little bit, if I pop a flower on there, because it's darker, oh dear, it's showing it up a bit. But anyway, this is going to calm down in a second. What I'm trying to do is kind of disguise my wee boo-boo. So I'm just going to pop some of these flowers different places. And these are great for stamping 3 times. So you go 1, 2, 3, and you get like a little flower cluster, and it just looks really quite organic and sweet. Now I've got a little space there, a bit of a space there. Go, just looking for the gaps. A little bit of a gap there. Right, now I'm kind of itching to use that Bumblebee now. I'm like, oh, fancy using a bit of that Bumblebee because I've got it out because I really like the idea of it. Right. You know, because otherwise it's going to go, but you got me out and you didn't use me. And I'd be like, oh yeah, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to be very careful, and I'm actually going to go in and ink that on the corner. So I've just inked those 3 little leaves there. I'm going to just try and tuck them behind that pink flower, and I'm just making sure I don't ink anything else. Oh, I forgot I could do that. So I'm stamping 3 times with this because the yellow is really quite strong. And because it's red rubber, it holds the ink really, really well. So look, 1, 2, I'll pop a 3rd one in there. And I think this yellow is just helping to lift the colour a little bit. Pop the yellow in there, a bit in there too. There. I know it just takes a little bit of extra time just to be careful how you ink it up, but it's kind of worth it because it means that, you know, you've got a stamp that's being stretched. You know, you don't have to use it in its entirety as it presents itself. You can kind of make it work for the situation you find yourself in. So just trying to look for another spot. Oh, yeah, it's a bit bare there, but I might fill that with dottage in a second. A bit of yellow there. I'm going to have a very yellow finger, aren't I, at the end of this? It's going to look like I've been smoking for years. Oh, I've got to tell you something funny that happened today. To somebody who lives in my house, who shall remain nameless, who needed a bit of a haircut. And usually this person, you know, does the main part of their hair themselves because they don't need, you know, coiffeuring. They just need to go over with a number 3, you know, setting. Anyway, this person was a little bit distracted this morning and forgot to put the guard, the number 3 guard, on the electric shaver thing, trimmer, and started cutting the back of their hair. Then realised and said, oh no. So then I had a look at the back of this person's head and I was like, oh, because, you know, they'd basically just shaved without the guard on. And so a lot of hair had come off, more than usual. And this person looked at me and went, oh, you're joking. You know, are you joking? I was like, no, I'm not joking. So I had to take a photo and show this person. And they were like, oh, no. So I tried my best. I then proceeded to use the number 2. Usually this person uses the number 3, but I used the number 2 round the back and then kind of like tapered it to, you know. Anyway, it's going to just look a little bit odd for a few days until the hair grows back. Oh, thank you. You're laughing. It's very funny. And then other people in my house noticed this evening and had a very good laugh. Notice how I'm being very careful not to name said person. Dear. Anyway, it's rather jolly. Right, I'm done. I'm going to go in with the dottage. So I'm going to start off with a bit of yellow dottage. I'm going to turn this way now because it's not fair on you guys, because I don't really get to see the whole thing when I do it that format. So I'm going to go in with some of the yellow, and I am going to do another colour of dottage, but I'm just going to pop some of this in because these spots are the only yellow I have on this piece of paper, and I feel that if I was just to leave it with the only yellow, it's going to bring too much attention. Your eyes are going to get drawn to it too quickly. So by popping a bit of yellow with just this very fine smattering of it, just helps to make your eyes kind of wander all over the place rather than just at those little yellow leafy points. So there we go. I would buy this paper from you. Oh, that's very kind of you, Vay. Yeah, please have a go stamping it. If you don't have these exact same stamps, just use a similar system, similar stamps rather, and use the same system. Come on, girls. You know that I stamp this so that you can go and stamp it yourself. Okay, so that's the yellow gone down. So now I feel like I need maybe a bit of that soft succulent, and this also will help get rid of these. I know I've got these sort of stems in the way, really. So let's go in there and try and make some of these stems go away. Now, the other thing I'm going to say is that this is, again, I've said it before and I'll say it again, it's designed to be cut up. So if there are areas that you don't really like, you can always hide them with your sentiment or something else. And the something else I'm going to show you, I got the idea from Susan Lavasser from Wow Nola Creations. She made a lovely card recently where she used the same stamp. It was the Blessings of Home stamp she used, and she stamped it, coloured it in, but then stamped another version of the flower, cut it out and stuck it on. So I'm inspired by, I'm not going to do exactly what Susan did, but I'm very much inspired by what she did on her recent video. So if you don't follow her, please do go check her out. She's a wonderful demonstrator from near New Orleans in the States, and very sweet and dear demo friend. Right. Okay, so that's going to be it for the stamping. I'm going to tuck those to the side. Then I'm going to bring on a scrap piece of paper, and I'm just going to make one card with you guys tonight, because I think once I've shown you one, you can get on and do this yourselves. So I'm going to stamp this gorgeous flower once, like that. And then I'm going to cut it out. Well, let me just snip some of this off. And also I'm going to shut my ink to save it from drying out. So I'm going to cut my flower out and scissors straight ahead and move the card. Sorry, I'm not looking up much because I'm trying to focus on this. I'm having a quick glance. Oh, I was careful not to name names, and I am not naming names. Lorraine. I'll leave it up to that person if they want to share if it was them or not. I remember once cutting one of my son's hair, and he was very in those days he did not like to have short hair, and I cut his hair rather a little bit too short, and he was upset with me for quite a while, and I think he wore a hat for about 2 weeks because I cut his hair too short. Right. This is actually quite an easy flower to cut out. There are a couple of little tricky bits, but not overly kind of tricky, I would say. Right, there we go. So that's my flower ready for later. Then if you have some kind of leaf punch, I've got this one, the one from the boughs. Oh. Now a tip with this punch, if you're going to be punching multiples and you're not that bothered about having the whole stem, start at the bottom to the so put your paper in, what's that, from left to right, and punch your leaf out, then move your paper up. But can you see how I've actually left, it's not quite having a full stem, because I don't need a full stem. That's going to be stuck underneath the flower. So rather than waste paper by going further up to that point there just to get a whole stem that I'm not actually going to use, I'm actually going to allow it to come into the gap that previous leaf made. So it saves paper, and it means that I can fit those 3 into that space as well. Then this little dinky thing here, surprisingly you can punch this out of the littlest scraps. It's actually smaller than you think it is, if that makes sense. Yeah, and again, if you don't need the whole stem, don't punch out the whole stem. You know, I managed to fit that into there, and that, oh look, I'll probably get another one out of here. Oh, you see, I get a bit obsessed then. I'm like, oh, I don't want to waste a piece of paper. So there we go. Right, I'm going to stop there. And before I cut this up, I'm just going to put a little bit of colour onto my leaves. So I've opened the Bumblebee and the Soft Succulent, and I did have a little, oh here it is, this is my little dauber that I used earlier, the green. I'm just cleaning that off because I used Old Olive on this recently, so I don't want it as dark as that. Just clean that off, and I'm going to use that with the Soft Succulent. And I'm just going to find myself one that I can use in the yellow. Oh, there's a nice clean one. Okay, so just going to get a little bit of yellow on my little sponge dauber here, and I'm using my dauber over a brush because it's kind of very it can be a bit more directed, and I've got a smaller space to cover. Now I'm not about covering the whole lot because I actually want to put a bit of green on this afterwards, so I don't want to get yellow everywhere. I just want a bit of it in different places. So there we go. Thank you, Debbie, that's very kind of you. Right. Hi, Cindy Schultz. Hi, Cindy Alexander. Kristen, yeah, I can. Yeah, I hear you on that one. Yeah, I've think I've probably done that as well when the kids have had little visitors. I remember going to a friend's house who had a daughter, had a young daughter, and I remember their phrase being, she's occupied in more ways than one. And I always remember that use of the word occupied, the two meanings of that word. It always makes me chuckle to think of it. Right, so you see how I'm brushing on that green, and we've got this beautiful kind of slight variegation going on there with the leaves. Try not to be too rough, because otherwise you're in danger of breaking off. Oops, there we go. Probably got more here than I need really, but I've started, so I'll finish. And that green is just lovely mixing with a bit of that yellow. So you're kind of creating your own custom colour really there, which is really fun. Thank you, Vicky. You're doing an awesome job sharing links tonight. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to cut this at 10 centimetres or 4 inches. And I'm just going to keep that piece for another day and have a look at, I'm just going to use the top end of this. Cut it at 14.4. And then grab myself a bit of magenta. There you go. Right, now this piece, what I'm going to do with this is use one of my Tombow glues. So you usually see me using this for the glue, but it can be used for shaping your flowers. So I'm going to pop that in there and basically give myself a little bit of a hand massage. Kind of use the end of this to break the fibres a little bit and put some curl or shape into the flower. So you can do that. And then the other thing that you can do is just cut down a little bit further into the flower, and this just helps to kind of shape it a little bit more. So just following the lines of the stamp kind of dictates really. So it means then you can perhaps bring some of these, one petal forward, one back type of thing. So then when you stick that down, you might pop that there. It's quite nice having two together. And then I'm going to do my little tweak that I like doing with the leaves. Going to grab a leaf and just give these little leaves a tiny little thing. Hi Veronica. Hi Bob. Yeah, indeed, Shaz. Yes, don't mention the little darlings. The little, yes. Hi Jane. Love this stamp set. I've suggested to Stampin' Up! They make a large stamp of that main flower. Hi Sue Beasley, welcome. Lovely to have you here. Are you new to the channel? The Ditches of Dottage. Duchess! Oh, sorry, I read the ditches first. I was like, the ditches? It's a typo, got you. That's funny. Very good. So I was just scrolling back to have a look at some of your comments. Oh, cat fleas as well. Oh, I remember when we had fleas in our house. This was a few years ago. I think probably even before the children were born, actually. And I remember my husband would go downstairs in the morning, and if he had bare legs, he'd just stand there and wait for them to kind of like attach themselves to him, and then he'd slap them. Terrible. And then we discovered there's a funky little trick where you get a bowl of water, soapy water, and then you put like a plank across it and put a light, and they kind of like jump towards the light and fall in the water. So we did that for a little while. That was quite good. All right, so I'm just going to arrange some of these pretty leaves roughly. There we go. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to start gluing. Hi, Deborah. Nice to see you. Hi, Michelle Eaton. Found you late, but glad to be here. Oh, well, you're very welcome. It's great to see you. Right, so I'm just popping a little blob of glue here. And I'm not being too, you can see I'm not being very careful because that whole lot of glue is going to get covered up in a minute by my flower. That's the beauty of having a big flower that you can stick on. Oh, I've just realised I've not stuck that down. Oh, dear. Okay, Ruth, come on. Get with the programme. Stick that on. I'm hoping this is the right way up. I better check that too. Yep, that's the right way around. Okay. Then I want to use some dimensionals for this. I did have some. There we go. Because it's quite a large flower, I'm going to stick about 3 on there, just to be safe. Hi, Gram7, welcome back. Oh, bonsoir, Frédéric. Hi, Michelle Eaton from California. Ah, yes. I should be saying bonne nuit. Bonsoir. Right. So now I've got my flower in place. I'm going to stick some of these leaves in. So I'm just going to stroke a little bit of glue on there. Tuck it under. I'm not placing it down. I'm tucking it under. Then once it's in place, I'm using the flower to push it into place so I don't touch the glue. Okay. Do that again. Stroke the glue on. Tuck it under. Push the flower into place. Look for another little opening to do that. Oh, take care, Anne. Lovely to see you. Do I have space for another? I don't really feel like I do. Okay, I don't. I'm going to leave those for another day. Okay, and to finish this off, I'm going to use gorgeous new embellishments that arrived on my desk today. They're called Polished Dots, and they're in the mini catalogue, and they come in this gorgeous just clear, and also this, I think it's supposed to be pale papaya. I need to look in the catalogue, but anyway, there are just this faint hint of peach on them. And I've discovered what I really like about these is creating little dewdrops on the leaves. So sometimes it's lovely to obviously embellish around and about your flowers, but it's really fun to sometimes have these as little dewdrops on your flower or your leaves. So I'll pop one there. Sometimes I like to put 2 on a leaf. I know it sounds extravagant, but it just looks so cool. There we go. One up there. And I might just pop another one there. I can see me using these up very quickly. There we go. And there we go. That finishes off my quick stamped one sheet wonder. I don't know how long I've been going for. Oh, 34 minutes. Okay, so mine is a bit of chatty time. 30 minutes. So I know I haven't actually made up the other 4 cards, but I've got that ready and waiting for when I do. But there we go. We've completed 1 card in half an hour. And I just bring back the other one that I made earlier this evening. And using exactly the same stamps. Did not cheat and add any different stamps. These are exactly the same. But just use a slightly different stamping style. Very slightly different. So there we go. There's the 2 sitting side by side, and those are the 2 cards. So thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions about the products and would like to order any, please do head to artfulstampin.co.uk, or in the description below this video is links directly to my online shop. If you'd like a paper copy of the catalogue, please drop me a line, ruthtrice@gmail.com, and let me know which one you prefer. Do you prefer the red one or the pink one? Thank you, guys. It is nearly 11:30 at night, grammar of 7. Thank you, everybody. Lovely to see you. Yes, and it's on very vanilla. Yeah, very vanilla. I'll go through the colours now with you while you're telling me which one you prefer. Okay, so for this one, I've used Soft Succulent, Magenta Madness, Fresh Freesia, and Bumblebee. Then for the red one, I used Shaded Spruce, Cherry Cobbler, Pumpkin Pie, and Old Olive. So that was that set. And the stamps that I've used are the big one from Flowing Flowers, Artistically Inked and the Rose, Forever Fern, the long thin one and one of the smaller ones, and the Dottage. And with hand penned petals, I used, just double checking, that one there, the smaller of those 2, that one. But please feel free to, you know, interchange. You don't have to necessarily use those ones as they were, and have a go. I'd love to see what you create. So take care, and yes, do go and check out what Esther did as well this evening. Yes, the red version would be good for Christmas. Yeah. Hi, Esther. Thank you, Cindy. I like this angle you stamp the leaves on the pink one better. Yes, definitely. Well, sorry. I don't have a preference, but the funny thing, let me tell you a funny story. So I had a team event this evening with my team, and my intention was to stamp this one in this style. However, actually it was that way around. I started stamping the flowers, and then by the time I came to doing the leaves, it wouldn't have looked right, stamping the leaves going up in that direction. So I ended up doing them like that. And so during the meeting, I said, actually, I had intended to do it this way, and I wanted to show them, but the time went by so quickly that I said I'd come on live and show them this variation. So they are similar in the sense that, you know, they're stamped down through a middle of a piece of cardstock, to get this design where you have the flowers on one side and then kind of the leaves and the flowers floating to the other. I mean, of course, you could stick it, you could stick it that way and have them going that way too. Or you could have you could just turn it around. You could have, let's see which way that opens. Yeah, you could have it going that way. Now, of course, you've got space here if you want to stamp a sentiment, or if you want to add a sentiment, cut it out and add it on, you can do that too. I know I haven't added one right now, but of course you could do that. Right, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Lovely to see you guys, and thanks, Darlene. Thanks, Christine. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching. Please remember to give me a thumbs up on the way out. And if you're new to my channel and you want to catch me here again, it's worth just liking my channel so that you can come back and find me. And certainly liking the video puts the video into a list of your liked videos. Also, feel free to create your own playlists. I do have playlists for my videos, but it's worth finding out how to create your own playlist so that you can go back and watch your favorite videos. So do that. And of course, if you'd like to pin it onto Pinterest, that would be fantastic. Right, lots of love, everybody. Great to see you. Thank you, Annie. Oh, merci beaucoup, Frédéric. Okay, biento. Good night.